What is up, everyone? Well, happy Football Friday. Hopefully, the beginning of that got caught on the Instagram Live. There's been some issues with Instagram apparently today, is what StreamYard has told me, anyways. But hopefully, everything works well on Instagram. Happy Senior Bowl weekend. It's All-Star weekend overall. Shrine Bowl last night. We have Senior Bowl tomorrow. We have NHL All-Star Skills Comp is tonight. Pro Bowl on Sunday. NHL All-Star game is tomorrow as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
Let's recap the Shrine Bowl. I was working, so I did not get to watch, but I did see a bunch of highlights from it. So I kind of got the picture on who the stars were, as well as the two MVPs. One of them I forgot. I didn't put him on here. But Jarius Monroe, the defensive back from Tulane, he was the defensive MVP, got the only turnover of the game. He picked off Austin Reed there. So it's always interesting doing these recaps and putting the stats up because I never know if I should put the school of the guy or the team he played for in this game. But I decided to put the school. I think that's more important, knowing where the guys came from, even though I could probably name where all the guys came from. There's only one guy that I didn't know. That was the guy that led the East team in rushing, which was Jacob Caboti from Louisiana. Did not know him. That every other player kind of knew. Offensive MVP went to the leading rusher in this one, Frank Gore Jr., Southern Miss. 6 carries, 87 yards, touchdown, and a 3-yard reception. Excellent night for him. He's I wouldn't go as far as saying that he's going to be like Marvin Harrison, where he's better than his dad, because Frank Gore was quite the beast for a long time. However, he's a different kind of back than his dad. Frank Gore Sr., more downhill power. Frank Gore Jr. is kind of the more modern back. Can catch the ball, explosive, but not necessarily between the tackles, like short yardage, power kind of back, as far as I remember anyways. Other player that really stood out, and I was super excited to see all the stuff on him from the game, Taulia Tagovailoa, Maryland quarterback. Excellent performance, best quarterback by far in this one. Him and John Rice Plumlee from UCF, those two were the stars at quarterback in this game, leading the West team to touchdown drives. Tagovailoa, 9 of 14, 64.3%, 142, a touchdown, rushing touchdown. Plumlee there, 8 of 10, 80%, 81 yards, and a rushing score as well. No passing touchdowns in this one, which made it very interesting. I thought, anyways, if I was watching it. The other quarterbacks in this one, Keaton Slovis for BYU, 5 of 7, 71.4%, 49 yards. And those three were all in the West team. Like, the West team had the best 3 quarterbacks of the 6. On the East side, Devin Leary from Kentucky, 5 of 9, 55.6%, 41 yards. Jack Plummer from Louisville, 4 of 10, 40%, 40 yards. And then Austin Reed, Western Kentucky, 5 of 11, 45.5%, 36 yards, and a pick. Mentioned Frank Gore Jr. already. His teammate on the West team, Blake Watson, second leading rusher in the game, 12 carries, 46 yards. But awesome receiving numbers. He actually led the game in receiving from the running back position, 6 catches for 65 yards on 6 targets. I mentioned Louisiana's Jacob Caboti. He led the East team in rushing, 3 carries for 35 yards. Joshua Cephas He led the game in receiving outside of Blake Watson there. 4 catches, 46 yards on 5 targets. That was for the West team. Dallin Holker, the tight end from Colorado State, he led the game in receiving on the East team. 3 catches, 28 yards on 5 targets. And defensively, it's UCLA defensive lineman Grayson Murphy for me. 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. Only issue for him, he was on the losing team, so I think he would have won Defensive Player of the Game had the East won this one. Oh, and then, of course, Oregon State's wide receiver Anthony Gold. Nothing on offense for him. However, big special teams play, 80-yard touchdown. The only touchdown of the night for the East squad. It's really interesting also. Both teams went for it. Went for 2, I believe, on all touchdowns. I don't know if that was like a rule in this game that they were doing or if that was just a coaching decision. But obviously the East got 1 2-point conversion and a field goal. I don't know how the West got to their 26 because I know they got like 1 2-point conversion and they didn't get another one, but they had 3 touchdowns. So I'm not exactly sure how they got the 26.
I'm doing the mental math.
Yeah.
So if they had two 2-point conversions, it'd be 16. 16 plus 6 is 22. That doesn't make sense. How would they get 4? So they had to fail twice. So 6 plus 6, 12 plus 8.
Yeah, I think they got 1 2-point conversion and then 2 field goals.
Okay, that makes sense. So I think it was 2 failed attempts, 1 made attempt, and 2 field goals. That's how the math probably goes out.
Yeah, and I know Talia did not get his 2-point because I saw the throw on that one and it was incomplete. I think John Rice Plumlee might have gotten the 2-point for the West team. Anyways, excellent game. Super hyped for a lot of these guys. And we'll next see a bunch of these guys at the Combine coming up later this month. College football news, just some general things. Kansas going to play off campus in 2024. Not sure really what is going on, if they're getting a new stadium or if they're doing renovations. I don't know. However, the Jayhawks will play their non-conference games at Children's Mercy Park. When I first heard that, I was like, bro, that sounds like such a weird name. Like, it sounds like it's just a park. Like, literally, like a park. They're going to paint football field lines. Just, you know. But yeah, it's actually where the MLS is Sporting Kansas City plays. Looks really nice stadium from the pictures I saw. So should be okay there for non-conference games. And then conference games, they're getting help from the AFC champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and they will play their conference, Big 12 conference games at Arrowhead Stadium.
Nice.
The NCAA is at it again. They are investigating Tennessee for alleged major NIL violations that's surrounding 2023 number 2 quarterback Nico Iamaleava. And it's interesting. Tennessee, the Tennessee Attorney General, I believe, filed a lawsuit against the NCAA. That makes it 5 now, pending litigations for the association, and it's not good. And I agreed with what I heard from Josh Pate on the Late Kick show. He kind of mentioned that, you know, it's not Tennessee's fault, really. When you look at it, the NIL rules are continuing to be fluid and they continue to change. And when, you know, when they do something in recruiting that is legal, and then you go back 6 months later and change the rule, well, then how can the thing that was legal at the time be illegal 6 months later because you changed the rule? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it sounds like a situation where they should have been grandfathered in.
Right. And that's been happening all over collegiate athletics with NIL currently, with all the rule changes that have been continued to be made, trying to kind of corral the situation. And I don't really know how it's going to get figured out, but it could get figured out. There's really an easy solution, and it's freaking Congress. And if Congress would just help the NCAA out, put legislation in black ink, people would know what they have to do and what they can't do. But because Congress has been hesitant to take a stand, we're in the situation that we are right now. So we will continue to wait and see what happens with the litigation with the NCAA. I didn't put it on the script, but just to go off that kind of big news, Big Ten, SEC joining forces, creating a committee to look at the future of college football and kind of maybe propose changes. I don't know what they're going to do with that committee, but it's interesting that the two most powerful conferences in college athletics are joining forces. And maybe it's the start of what we all thought is going to happen all along, and football breaks off by itself.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Or the conferences, break off by themselves and do away with the NCAA.
That's what I think is most likely. I think there's something about college football that is such a moneymaker for the NCAA that just other sports aren't even compatible in comparison. Like the only NCAA sport even slightly compatible is March Madness. Not even just college basketball, just March Madness.
Yeah, men's college basketball. Bad news for a Senior Bowl participant. Marshall running back Rasheen Ali suffered a ruptured biceps tendon this week during practice. He has a 4 to 6 month recovery, so should be good to go by the beginning of the 2024 season. But it's tough. Training injuries, drop draft stock there. And for a guy that really was more than likely going to be a day 3 guy anyways, as much as I love Rasheen Ali, super explosive, great player from Marshall. But I have to think with the injury now, he's not going to get drafted. And actually I have, where was his, just trying to see. Oh yeah, so his numbers there, 5'11" and 3/8, good size for running back. 204. Smaller hands, 8 7/8, but all the measurables solid for Rasheen Ali. Coaching carousel in college. Couple coordinator hirings. Auburn hiring Texas A&M defensive coordinator / linebackers coach DJ Durkin, former Maryland head coach as well. So Mike Elko getting his DC there in College Station, and new head coach Sharon Moore getting his offensive coordinator, promoting quarterbacks coach Kirk Campbell there. Did a really solid job of the development with J.J. McCarthy, and we'll see Michigan's next quarterback under Campbell. A couple pro day schedules. Pro days have been announced as they start to trickle out. Oregon scheduled for March 12th. Looking at Bo Nix there. Michigan, March 22nd. The aforementioned J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, Mike Sanderstill as well. LSU is going to be March 27th. So looking at Jaden Daniels and the wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Washington scheduled theirs for March 28th. Boatload of players there. Michael Penix, Jalen Polk, Roma Dunze, and running back Dylan Johnson, as well as a lot of other guys. Senior Bowl accolades. So the practices are over. They ended yesterday. They had the Senior Bowl awards today. So the overall player of the week and the biggest draft riser so far in the early process of the draft, Missouri defensive lineman Darius Robinson. He has been just a beast down in Mobile. Trying to find, I can't remember what number he is wearing this week. Maybe I should have grabbed the the alphabetical ones instead. But oh, here we go. Wearing number 6 for the American squad. 6'5", 286, 10.5-inch hands. Massive. Massive hands. Also massive wingspan, 84.5 inches, 34 and 3/4 inch arms. Big human being, got great size. And yeah, I mean, the burst off the edge has been great. He can play multiple positions on the D line. And everyone's touting him as a first-round pick right now after this week. For the American team, top awards here. Top quarterback went to South Carolina's Spencer Rattler. Top running back, Arizona's Michael Wiley. That one I thought was very interesting. Late add to the Senior Bowl, and he ended up the American team's top running back for the week. And that is a squad that has I don't know. It's too hard to look on that. Anyways, top wide receiver for the American, Georgia's Lad McConkey. Heard a lot of buzz about him this week and his teammate Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. The route running has been uber impressive. The burst in and out of the breaks has also been something that's been highly touted for McConkey. Top tight end, TCU's Jared Wiley. Top offensive lineman, UConn's Christian Haynes. Solid. I saw him in some of the 101 drills there. Top defensive lineman, Florida State's Braden Fisk. This guy is a beast inside. He's going to be a problem. I think he's a little on the shorter side as far as I remember. I think oh no, he's good. 6'3" and 5/8. Yeah, he's solid. I don't know why. He just kind of looks like he's got it all packed in. Top linebacker, Mississippi State's Nathaniel Watson. I love Nathaniel Watson. He is a sideline-to-sideline tackling machine. Can cover as well. Top corner, Louisville's Jarvis Brownlee. Top safety, the Dogs getting another one. Georgia's Javon Bullard. I think Javon Bullard is also great player. Can tackle, can cover as a single high or two high safety. I think he's better at single high coverage though, and nickel. Top specialist, Alabama's kicker Will Reichard. National team top quarterback, Washington's Michael Penix Jr. I was impressed by some of his stuff. I told someone today the combine really going to be imperative for Penix to show his athletic traits. That was probably the biggest issue on his resume is the athletic ability. People want to see if he can run or not. And it was nice to see him roll out to the left on a play and just run for a couple yards. Top running back was USC's Marshawn Lloyd. Top wide receiver, Western Kentucky's Malachi Corley. Top tight end, Penn State's Theo Johnson. Big guy, 6'6". I think 6'6", 6'5". Yeah, 6'6", 257. Big hands, 10-inch hands for Theo. Top offensive lineman, Oregon State's offensive tackle Talise Fuaga. Super hyped. I'm hoping that one of my teams can get him in the 20s there, either the Steelers or the Eagles. Top D lineman, your boy, Ohio State's Michael Hall Jr.
I like him as a third, fourth round pick.
Vikings getting him.
Honestly, I like it. Mike Hall, third, fourth round, I take it.
Top linebacker, Notre Dame's J.D. Bertrand, similar to Nathaniel Watson on the American team. Bertrand, another guy that just, bro, all he does is tackle. I think that's all he does, make tackles. Top corner, Toledo's Quinyon Mitchell. Really excited about him. He's been a riser even before the Senior Bowl, as people have started to watch tape on him. I think might slide into the back end of the first. Definitely a second-round pick is his floor. Would love to get him again on either the Eagles or Steelers. Vikings need corners too, so
yes, we do.
Top safety, Evan Williams. I like him a lot. And then the top specialist there for the national team, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest Iowa Hawkeye in history of the Iowa program. Iowa punter Tory Taylor.
I thought you were going to say Colin Schultz.
Yeah. We'll get more into the Senior Bowl at the end. But anyways, UFL news. We're getting the schedule.
Woo!
On Monday.
Oh.
The UFL schedule going to be announced on Monday, February 5th. Super excited for that. I'm interested to see where and when my DC Defenders play and where and when my Memphis Showboats play as well. Do you have a team yet? Did you pick a team for the UFL?
I always liked the St. Louis Battlehawks. I loved how the St. Louis area just absolutely fell in love with that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially knowing that city is like a scorned city after losing the Rams. And I always liked who were they? Houston Roughnecks, because I loved PJ Walker. Like, dude would sling it sidearm. And I forget the wide receiver's name, but he got signed by the Bills, but he didn't make it far. Like, him and PJ Walker were just fun to watch.
Yeah, St. Louis got some question marks. They gotta figure out the quarterback situation there.
They sure do. I mean, I'm available. I mean, I suck, but I expect $1 million per game.
Because I think the Bengals are going to keep AJ McCarron if he doesn't retire. Transactions here for the UFL. The Panthers have waived quarterback Carson Strong and wide receiver Corey Coleman. Both are probably retiring. Carson Strong, I do know, is retiring. Coleman more than likely retiring as well. Corey Coleman's an interesting one to retire. He had an excellent season last year with the Philadelphia Stars, and both guys similar age, Strong, couple years younger, I believe. Carson Strong's probably around 24, 25. Coleman, I think, is 28 or 29. But yeah. The Arlington Renegades, they waived linebacker Edmund Robinson. I thought that one was interesting. Robinson, a starter last year on the XFL champion Renegades team. So good name for teams to pick up. And signings wise, how about the Brahmas? They signed YouTube star Destroying as a kicker. He has been working out with the likes of Nick Novak and company, and we'll see. I don't really know too much about Destroying other than he was like on some of the broadcasts last year with the XFL. Do you know much about Destroying?
I knew a lot of Viking fans wanted him after like every game when Greg Joseph would miss a field goal. But I don't know much. I knew he had a big online impact, and he was big on YouTube for a while.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how he looks in the Brahmas camp. They also signed former Sea Dragons wide receiver Jordan Vesey, and I think this is a re-signing with linebacker Ryan Mueller. I know he played with the Renegades last year, got traded, but I couldn't remember who he got traded to, but I think it was to the Brahmas. And the Battlehawks, they signed running back Wayne Gallman, former NFL player with the Giants. I think 2 other teams as well. And then they re-signed some key players from last year, running back Mateo Durant, defensive end Elorm Lumore, defensive back Mikael Wright, and defensive back Lavert Hill. Lavert Hill, probably the biggest impact of those 4 guys there. And the Renegades, they re-signed defensive lineman Doug Costin, former Jacksonville Jaguar there. NFL news, we have the Super Bowl uniforms, colors anyways. The the Chiefs, they're going to wear red, and the 49ers will wear white.
So exact same as Super Bowl 54.
Yep.
All right. There was I remember it was a huge thing. The team that wore white always won, but I think actually Super Bowl 54 like broke that streak.
I have no clue.
I remember there was like a 10-year streak with the team that wore their white uniforms always won.
I think because this year the AFC, or actually no, the NFC is the home team, I believe.
Yeah.
No, the AFC is the home team. Yeah, the Chiefs are the home team.
You know, it's I'm looking it up now. Only 20 Super Bowl winners wore non-white jerseys. The last team to win in non-white, and ironically, were the Chiefs in Super Bowl 54.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's getting worse now since we're about to be at 58. Yeah. So 20 to 37. Double, I get almost, but oh well. I like that though. Obviously, like I said, the Chiefs are the home team, so they get to pick what color they want to wear. But I think that's the right choice. I think it would look weird if the Chiefs wore white and the 49ers wore their red jerseys. I don't know why.
I think the only reason I'd want to see 49ers wearing red if they wore that like that retro like mid-90s red, like the Steve Young red, that would look good.
Can't do that in the Super Bowl.
I know. Sadly, you can't do like alternative jerseys.
That'd be like the Eagles wearing their Kelly greens last year.
Dude, that'd be fucking beautiful. I would have loved seeing Kelly greens in the Super Bowl.
That would have looked really weird. I would have been okay with it. I can't remember. The Eagles did they wear white last year?
No, Eagles did wear green. They wore green, and Chiefs wore white.
Yeah, see, I have my Jalen Hurts Kelly Green one, but in the Super Bowl though, I would have preferred if they were wearing Kelly Green to wear the white Kelly Greens. The all white Kelly Greens are
Ooh, that is an icy Super Bowl look. Can someone put Rusty Miller in charge of the Super Bowl jerseys? Because I mean, my God, we got to make these guys look pretty.
But no, yeah, I do like the choices of the teams. Obviously, the 49ers didn't have a choice. They were like, we'll have to take whatever the Chiefs don't wear. But no, I like this. I like the Chiefs in red and the 49ers in white. I don't know why. Just makes sense for those two teams playing each other. The Bucks center Ryan Jensen has officially retired. Didn't play all year. Knew he was going to retire. Just didn't make it official until right now. Pretty solid career. Ravens, 6th round pick in 2013, number 203 overall. Played with the Ravens from 2013 to 17. The Bucks, 18 to 23. So long career for Jensen. 100 regular season games, 90 of them starts. Started all 7 of his playoff games, which I believe all came with the Bucks. One-time Super Bowl champ, won Super Bowl 55 over the Chiefs with Tom Brady and co. And then that was also the year that he was in the Pro Bowl. So, again, not a lot of career accolades, but pretty solid career. Coaching carousel, it's been going. There's a lot of stuff going on coaching-wise.
Spinning around.
We have the conclusion of the head coaching spots. All 8 have now been filled. The Seahawks, they hired Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald as head coach. Youngest head coach in the league now, 36 years old. The Seahawks, interestingly enough, go from the oldest head coach in the league, Pete Carroll, Mike McDonald.
You good?
Yeah.
I had a lot of interference there.
Oh, my bad.
All good.
Yeah, so the oldest head coach to the youngest head coach in the league now for the Seahawks. Thought that one was interesting because, well, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good choice because they needed help on defense. They're going to have Geno for 1, 2, maybe 2 more years. So I think they're pretty solid on the offensive side of the ball. Just needed to fix some defensive stuff. So, yeah, I think that one's a good hire.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders also got their guy, hiring Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn as head coach. Second head coaching opportunity for him. And I didn't really want it to be in the division because I do really think that Dan Quinn's going to get it right his second time around. From everything that I've heard about his next opportunity, like he's thought a lot about what didn't work in Atlanta. And I think he's going to do a really good job of implementing those mistakes into the Washington job now. And he's really set up well. He has to get some pieces on defense. But the Cowboys defense, as we know, the last 3 years he was there, top 5 in like every category. And the Commanders, on the other hand, have ranked 30th in most categories last year. Got to help that side of the ball. It'll be interesting to see who he gets. I think he should keep Eric Bieniemy. He should retain Eric Bieniemy because Eric Bieniemy is one of the best offensive coaches in football that you can get as an offensive coordinator. Haven't heard anything on that front yet. But, like I said, in a good spot Commanders, number 2 pick. They're going to get the second pick of the quarterbacks unless the Bears don't do what everyone thinks they're going to do and go Caleb Williams. But still, they're going to get the opportunity at a guy like Drake May. I'm going to roll my eyes every time I say it. But Jaden Daniels as well. He should not be up there with those two. Just saying. Just saying. But that's where everyone's putting him. They also have $70 million in cap space next season. So, yeah, they're in a good spot. And they have, I think it's like 5 picks in the top 100 and 9 picks overall in this draft. So, yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Coordinator hirings. The Falcons. Raheem Morris has found his defensive coordinator. Hiring Rams assistant head coach and former Washington head coach Jimmy Lake as defensive coordinator came up to the Washington head coaching position as from his defensive coordinator spot. So yeah, I don't really have much on Jimmy Lake there. Steelers have their new OC hiring former Falcons head coach Arthur Smith. And originally I wasn't a big fan. However, it has grown on me. He's got to shave the stash for one. But
that stash makes him look like he belongs in Pittsburgh.
No, he's got to shave it. He looks so much better without it. Anyways, I think it will work. I think the offense that he runs, the under center, ground and pound, play action, I think it's going to work. While Najee Harris is not Derrick Henry, they went to Alabama. They both went to Alabama. And they both are downhill, hard-nosed runners. It'll be interesting to see how he uses Jalen Warren, because Jalen Warren is a little bit different with the speed and more speed than power, even though Warren can put it up inside. But I'm okay with it. I think it'll be good. I think Kenny Pickett will like this new offense here. The Bills, new defensive coordinator promoting linebackers coach Bobby Babich. The Packers, I know a lot of Packers fans very excited. They hired Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley as the defensive coordinator. Excellent rebuild at Boston College, getting that program to a couple bowl games, and former Ohio State co-defensive coordinator before that as well. That Ohio State defense did really well the year that he was there as co-DC. So yeah, I think Packers fans are really excited about their defense next year. The Titans, they hired Ravens defensive backs coach Denard Wilson as DC. Highly sought after defensive coordinator prospect. Brian Callahan gets his guy though in Tennessee. The Ravens, filling Mike McDonald's spot, they promoted linebackers coach Zach Orr as defensive coordinator. Now, you might be saying, didn't Zach Orr just play in the league a couple years ago? Yes, he did. He played with the Ravens. I don't remember when he last played, but has been a rising star in the coaching ranks in the Baltimore program, and is now the defensive coordinator. Patriots, they hired former Browns offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt as their offensive coordinator. So he will handpick his next quarterback at number 3 overall for New England. The Rams, they promoted pass rush coordinator / linebackers coach Chris Shula as defensive coordinator, filling Raheem Morris's former spot. Grandson of Don Shula is Chris Shula. So interesting that Chris coaches defense, not offense. But yeah, the McVay, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it a tree because he's not out on his own yet, but the system, the development in LA just like keeps churning for Sean McVay, popping out coaches. The Raiders. Antonio Pierce has his new offensive coordinator, hiring USC senior offensive analyst Cliff Kingsbury. So he will now face his former quarterback twice a year in Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Jimmy Garoppolo, get ready to throw a bunch of screens.
He's going to make Aiden O'Connell into a Hall of Famer. The Titans, they hired Jaguars pass game coordinator Nick Holes as their OC. Intra-division move there. Bucks hiring Kentucky's offensive coordinator / quarterbacks coach Liam Cohen as OC. Bounced around the last 6 years between Kentucky and the Rams, and now finally lands somewhere different in Tampa, replacing Dave Canal as the new Panthers head coach. Saints, they have hired 49ers pass game coordinator Clint Kubiak as their OC. Can't finalize the deal yet. They're going to have to wait until after the Super Bowl, but all signs point to it getting done. The Patriots hiring Rams assistant special teams coach Jeremy Springer as their special teams coordinator, filling up the last coordinator spot under Gerard Mayo. The Bears, they hired Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown as pass game coordinator. And a couple guys staying home. The Lions offense coordinator Ben Johnson staying in Detroit. 2 years left on his deal still. Wants to go win a Lombardi next year with Detroit. But once again, he's going to be a hot candidate in 2025. It's crazy that Detroit kept both Johnson and Aaron Glenn this cycle. I
Genuinely impressive.
Either of them didn't get. Well, Johnson's was by choice. Aaron Glenn, I was very kind of surprised he didn't get a spot either.
Good on the Lions.
And the Texans also are very, very lucky. Texans quarterbacks coach Gerard Johnson staying in Houston. He got a pay raise and an extension, as did offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, staying in Houston as well. So I thought for sure Slowick was going to go to Washington with the 49ers connection. New GM Adam Peters there. Ended up going Dan Quinn after Slowick announced he's staying in Houston. Gerard Johnson, one of the hottest offensive coordinator candidates as well, staying in Houston, continue to develop CJ Stroud. GM carousel, the Chargers, they got their GM spot, hiring Ravens director of player personnel Joe Ortiz as new GM. Go from one Harbaugh to the other. So excellent personnel evaluator. Think he'll do well in LA. We'll see. We'll see if that partnership works with him and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I definitely have a good feeling that this is a guy that Harbaugh probably handpicked. He was like, I like this guy. I like Horitz. I want him as my GM. And owner definitely went out and said, yep, I'm going to get Harbaugh's guy.
The Panthers making a big move. They hired Chiefs executive Brant Tillis as executive VP of football operations. Why is that a big move? Because Brant Tillis, for one, he's been a GM candidate for the last couple of years. And for two, he's been instrumental in bringing players to the Chiefs in both the draft and free agency. So that is a major get for the Panthers. I believe he also, just like Clint Kubiak for the Saints, I think he also is a guy that they have to wait to officially hire until after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, he has a Super Bowl to be at, so.
An interesting move for the Jets. They parted ways with assistant GM Rex Hogan. I heard he is going to be hot candidate out there for front office positions. And I believe I'm trying to see. I think there's still one opening GM wise. Yeah, there's just one more GM opening that is in New England. The Patriots have yet to hire a GM, so possibly they go interdivision there with Rex Hogan being a free agent now. Maybe they go after him, but yeah, because I don't know why they have the Raiders and Chargers not filled yet, because the Raiders got Tom Telesco from the Chargers. All right, that is all the news. Pick standings. Yeah, you're the only one that got one right in the championship.
Them 49ers.
The 49ers lone wolf. We all got the Ravens wrong. We already announced Jimmy won. We don't have to spend too much time on it.
I like winning because that's just all I do. Don't bring up my college standings. Don't. Oh, stop.
All right. Let's talk about Senior Bowl. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't have the broadcast. I believe it's.
I can find it.
I believe it's on ESPN or NFL Network. It's usually on NFL Network.
Yeah, it's NFL Network.
It says ESPN. Oh, televised practices. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, NFL Network.
And NFL Plus.
I don't know who would pay for that. Because I don't. ESPN Plus, a lot better. Anyways, got my handy dandy roster here. Although I've struggled to maneuver around in it because I have the numerical sorted. Just because it's going to be a lot easier to watch the game with this one. However, so players to watch. I have a bunch of guys highlighted. I don't know if you have anyone to talk about, but
no.
I'm just going to go numerical. So first one is Georgia wide receiver Marcus Rosemy-Jack-Saint. For the American team, he, along with Ladd McConkey, have both been getting rave reviews this week. And good size, 6'1", 205. Big hands, 9 7/8 inches. Pretty solid wingspan as well, 78 1/4. Going to be a later round guy, I think, but could help himself getting into early day 3 kind of range. Roman Wilson, he is on the other side for the national team wearing number 1 as well. I'm super hyped about him. He has gotten a lot of press down there, especially earlier in the week. Smaller receiver, 5'10", 5'10.5", 186. However, though, should be a great slot receiver and possibly could play outside as well. But make sure you watch out for both number 1s there on offense for each team. Next guy I have is the top quarterback of the week for the American team, Spencer Rattler. Going to wear number 2 in this game. Again, I was surprised by the measurements, just 6 foot and 1/8, 219, solid weight, but the height was something that was surprising to me for Rattler. But he impressed throughout the week. Like I said, earning top quarterback honors for the American squad. Next one is Oregon's safety Evan Williams, wearing number 3 in this game for the national team. I think he's just a hitter. He likes to come downhill and can cover as well. Super hyped. I like Evan Williams on day 2. Darius Robinson. I already mentioned him. Top overall practice player of the week. Number 6 for the American squad. Told you his measurables earlier, but 6'5", 286, 34 and 3/4 inch arms, 10.5 inch hands, 84.5 inch wingspan. Just a physical presence, and can play inside outside versatility. Make sure you watch Darius Robinson tomorrow. Quinyon Mitchell, the top corner for the national team in this one. The next great Vikings corner.
Let's hope.
Well, he's going to be wearing number 7 for the national team, so got to watch that. On the smaller side, but not really for a DB, 6 foot and 3/8, 195. Otherwise, the rest of his measurements solid. And rising star, Quinyon Mitchell, possibly even jumping into the back end of the first round with his draft process going. The next two, the 2 number 9s, 2 of the 4 number 9s, I should say, both on the national team. Michael Penix Jr., the Washington quarterback. Again, excited to watch him coming off the CFP National Championship appearance. Excellent size, big hands, 10 and 3/8. Some of the biggest hands at the Senior Bowl. And, yeah, I mean, it's just great to have a southpaw back in the league. We'll see where he goes. But yeah, looking at his athleticism in this one, see if he can move around more than he did at Washington. And the other number 9 I'm looking at is Tory Taylor, the punter for Iowa. And for the national team here, he is actually a physical specimen, by the way. 6'3" and 5/8, 229, 78 and 3/8 wingspan. I think if Tory Taylor played like safety, like he would be a monster. He would hit you hard, I think. I don't know. But yeah, he's going to have some punts. I expect Taylor to just drop dimes inside the 5-yard line all day. That's if the national team has to punt. Who knows? They got good quarterbacks on the national squad. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, who is the next one that I want to talk about, actually. But the third one on the national team is Sam Hartman. Yeah, from Notre Dame. Anyways, Bo Nix, though, yeah, super. I love Bo Nix. Have this whole season. He put a ball on a rope, little on the move, but right into the corner of the end zone. He also had some good fade throws to the taller guys like Brevin Spann, the guy from Minnesota, tight end from Minnesota there. Next two number 11s for the national team. Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver from Florida. He has been kind of the equivalent of Ladd McConkey on the opposite side, though. McConkey on the American, Pearsall on the national team. Ricky Pearsall, slot receiver all day. 6 foot and 7/8, 193. Short area quickness and burst, excellent, off the charts. And he has great hands, like that one-handed catch we saw this season from him over the middle. The other number 11 I want to talk about for national team is on defense. Peyton Wilson, NC State linebacker, tackle machine. I love Peyton Wilson. He's one of my favorite linebackers in this draft, even though I'm impartial to linebackers. That's where I played at my senior year. But 6'4" and an 8, 234. He's probably one of the bigger linebackers that you'll see, off-ball linebackers that you'll see. Going down to the top linebacker, was that for the American team? Nathaniel Watson, Mississippi State, wearing number 14 in this game. Again, tackle machine, love him. Make sure you watch out for 14. Another 14 on the offensive side for the American, Johnny Wilson. He is jump ball all day, just throw it up. 6'6" and an 8, 237. I mean, the man could be a tight end almost. That's how big he is. But he's fast too. He freaking returned punts at Florida State as well. So he has versatility there, can play special teams, but best at receiving the ball for sure. Really excited to watch Johnny Wilson catch the ball from Spencer Rattler and who else? Quarterbacks. Joe Milton and Michael Pratt are the other quarterbacks for the American team. Laiatu Latu is the next one I have highlighted, number 15, UCLA edge rusher. Big guy, 6'4" and 3/4, 261. Probably, or not probably, he is in the conversation to be the first edge rusher off the board in this draft. It's interesting, really, in this draft. I don't think there is a consensus number one edge. As far as I can remember, I'm probably eating my words right now, but anyways, he's a guy definitely that I think will be moving up draft boards here in the future. Xavier Leggett, wide receiver from South Carolina, wearing number 17. That's intriguing. A wide receiver wearing 17 from South Carolina. All that I remember is Alshon Jeffrey wearing 17 for the Eagles.
I'm sure you have great memories of him.
I do. Alshon was a great player. We had a great time in Philadelphia. Because I know him personally, you know.
All right. Got give him a call.
Yeah. We'll pull him up right now.
Oh, let's go. Special guest, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but again, Xavier Leggett, I was surprised on his heights, just 6'1", 223, good size there. But yeah, I was surprised by only 6'1". I thought he was a bigger guy than that. But has impressed, and he's a guy that, again, people had in the second round, now possibly pushing that first round bracket as well. Adisa Isaac, next guy, number 20 for the national team, Penn State edge rusher, 6'4", 5/8", and 250, 81 and 3/8 wingspan, speed for days off the edge. That's what he does best. And he got props from Daniel Jeremiah, as well as I think Louis Riddick on ESPN's coverage there. Really hyped. I love my Penn State guys. Isaiah Davis, running back from South Dakota State, is in the next one. Number 21 for the national team. 6 foot 220, pound for pound. Great player, explosive as well. 2-time back-to-back FCS national champion is Isaiah Davis. Go Jacks. Love the Jackrabbit boys. And I'm really excited. Isaiah Davis is a guy that I've been targeting in mock drafts, specifically with the Eagles in the mid-rounds. Love him in between, rounds 3 through 5. Somewhere around there is what I have Isaiah Davis going. Big hands, too. I didn't realize that. 10 1/4 inch. Anytime you're at 10 or over, those are massive hands. Javon Bullard, another Georgia Bulldog. Who would have thought? Me talking Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Anyways, he had a really good week. The top safety the top safety for the American team gonna wear 22, his college number in this one. On the shorter side, 5'10 and a half, 197. Small hands, 8 3/4 inch. But yeah, I like Javon Bullard as more of a box type safety. However, we'll see him in coverage during this one. Cameron Kitchens, I think on most people's board, top safety in this class from Miami, wearing number 24 here for the American squad, 5'11 and a 8, 206. He, on the other hand, has big hands, 9 5/8 inches, pretty solid number there. I'm interested to watch. I didn't really get to watch too much of Kitchen's game during the season because who wanted to watch Miami? I don't know. But he should be a really solid player for anyone in the back end of the first round that's looking at a safety. Another linebacker, JD Bertrand, number 27 for the national team. National team's top linebacker of the week. Tackling machine. I want to see more coverage from JD in this one. I'd like to see how he does covering running backs and tight ends. That's where I think he needs to improve most. On the shorter side, though, for off-ball backers, 6'1", 235. So, yeah, hopefully he doesn't get matched up with some of those 6'6" tight ends that they got down in Mobile. The next one, Cody Schrader, running back from Missouri, number 28 for the American squad. Short, 5'8 and a quarter, 207. Really short arms as well, just 28 and a quarter inch arms, and small wingspan as well, 68, 3/8 inches. Good size hands. He's got short arms, but good hands, 9 1/4 inch hands. But I love Cody Schrader. Excellent story coming from Division II. Had a great year at Missouri. Can catch, can run, and can run power scheme as well if you need him to. Austin McNamara, number 31 for the American, the punter out of Texas Tech. He's a guy that I looked at in my scouting for the National Scouting Combine. Excellent numbers there. Net average over, I think he was somewhere in like the 48, 49 range for net average, which is just awesome. He's a big guy, just like Torrey Taylor for Iowa, 6'4 and a half, 204. 10 and a half inch hands for the punter. You got to be able to catch that snap, man. Got to be able to catch the snap.
Gets above your head. Got to Odell it.
But yeah, I think Austin McNamara, just like Torrey Taylor, going to be able to put that ball and pin the other team down inside there. And so I highlighted both punters, one for each side. As Rich Eisen says, punters are people too. Next guy, Jalen Simpson, the safety from Auburn, number 36 for the American squad. Little on the smaller side, 5'11", 5'8", just 178 pounds. However, the ball production at Auburn was excellent. I don't remember exactly how many picks he had in his career. I think it's somewhere around 7 to 9, though. So excellent numbers in terms of interceptions for the Tigers, and he's just a ball hawk. That's what he does at the safety position there. I think he does have versatility, though. I think he can play nickel dime as well. Dylan Lobby, number 40 for National Squad, New Hampshire, running back. One of the few small school guys in Mobile. And I watched him run the ball a couple times when they were doing practice yesterday, and this guy's power. He's going to specialize as a short yardage red zone back, I think, and probably not going to do a lot off of that, but he's got a small frame, 5'9" and 5'8", 210. Again, shorter arms, 29 and an eighth, but the rest of the measurables aren't terrible. Yeah. Chris Braswell, 41 for the American squad, edge rusher out of Alabama. Dude, this guy, oh my God, in practice, he was just crazy. His power rush off the outside, I was just like dropping my jaw every time I saw him up because it didn't matter what tackle he was going against. He just beat him. And I think he also, I didn't see it too often, but I think one time I did see he has that power spin move off of it, which is nice to see him having a couple tools in the pass rush repertoire. Austin Booker, number 49 for the national team, edge rusher out of Kansas. I don't know too much about him, but I've heard a lot about him. People are saying he's one of the fastest, he's one of the biggest risers at the edge rush position this week. Excellent size, 6'4" and a half, 240. Big wingspan, 81 and a half inches. So I'll have to look and watch him closely because, like I said, I really didn't know too much about him coming into the draft process, and he's a guy that I've been hearing a lot about. Ethan Driscoll, 52 for the national team, offensive lineman from Marshall. The only reason I highlighted him because he's massive. 6'8" and a half, 6'8" and a quarter, 312, 10 and 3/8 inch hands, 83 and an eighth wingspan. Just a big human being, and that's it. That's what I got on Ethan Driscoll.
It's a specimen.
Couple numbers down there. Braden Fisk, 55 for American team, Florida State defensive lineman, top D lineman on the American squad. He's got power inside, smaller, or no, he's got good size. Never mind. I said that earlier. I know. I remember saying that. I thought he was smaller, but good size. 6'3" and 5'8", 295. Sure, he can play 3-5 techs. I think he will have good prospects in the draft because at that size, he should be positionally versatile. Should, like I said, be able to play a 3 tech or a 5 tech in a 4-3 or a 3-4 scheme. I'm so really excited to see that. Power inside, though, like I said, for him. And then jumping a bunch of offensive linemen down to the next guy, Christian Jones, 70 for the American squad, tackle out of Texas. He's been a riser this week. Good size, 6'5", 318, 10 and 3/8 hands, 83 and 7/8 wingspan. He looks pretty solid on his kick steps. When I watching the 101 O-line D-line drills was probably the highlight of my week. I only got to watch practice yesterday, really, but that was I was really impressed by the American O-line D-line 101s. National team number 72, Oregon State tackle Talise Fuaga. I always want to, for some reason, switch those two letters. I always want to call him Felice Tuaga for some reason, but it's Talise Fuaga. This guy's a guy I'm looking at end of round 1. Like I said, I'm looking at tackles for my guys here. He was the national team offensive lineman of the week. 6'5", 7/8, 332, 10 and a quarter hands, 81 and a half wingspan. Yeah, I really like Talise there. Another O lineman, Patrick Paul, the tackle from Houston, number 76 for the American squad. I was super impressed by his anchoring when he was playing left tackle in those 101 drills. I think he's a guy that you can get in round 2 and be happy with playing him from day one. He's big as well, 6'7", 333, 86 and 3/4 wingspan there for Patrick Paul. Going inside, one thing I don't like is they don't differentiate on this roster interior O-line versus tackles. Brandon Coleman, 77 for the American squad from TCU. Guard, he's going to be a guard. Again, just like I mentioned with Patrick Paul, Brandon Coleman stonewalled every guy that I saw him go up against, mostly playing left guard. But he's really intriguing, and I think he could be a really solid. I would like to see his run blocking and his pooling, which I like that they do those drills at the combine, the pooling and the combo, cross combo drills that they do at the combine. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him do that. But I think he's really solid at anchoring just because he has big hands. 10 and 5/8 inch gives a lot of surface area to punch in pass pro. Final couple guys here. Of course, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver from Georgia, number 84 for the American squad. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, short area quickness. Ditto what I said for Ricky Pearsall, except McConkey is better than Pearsall. Brevin Span-Ford, the tight end, 88 for the national team from Minnesota. The only reason I put him on here, big frame, 6'6" and 5/8, 267, 10-inch hands. He had some really solid red zone catches. Jump ball is where he excelled, and he mossed a guy. I remember Bo Nix threw in the ball right over the defender's helmet, and Brevin just like went right up and got it, which was nice to see. So he's a guy not high on the tight end board, but I think he's a guy that's going to be a serviceable tight end too in the league in the mid to later rounds. Justin Eboigbe, number 92 for the American squad, Alabama, D lineman, interior D line, D tackle, big D tackle, 6'4" and an 8th, 292. Again, I think just like Braden Fisk, 3 tech, 5 tech, scheme versatile, but Eboigbe, just like I mentioned, Brandon Coleman stonewalling everyone. Eboigbe was the opposite since he was on defense. Every time I saw him line up, he beat whoever it was across from him. He has great hands. Uses his hands really well to get around guards and centers, and really excited for him. I think he'll be a riser on the interior defensive line board. And another interior D line, number 93 for the American squad, Texas defensive lineman, Tavondre Sweat. Now, this man is just a massive guy. Massive. Just like I said with Ethan Driscoll, this massive human being. 6'4" and an 8th. Now, he did not weigh. He chose not to weigh, which could go either way. I think reason why he did that was because he's over. He's way too heavy right now. Kind of looks like it as well. I mean, it's tough to tell, but it really didn't matter, I thought, in the drills, because the power that this guy has at either the nose tackle, I think he's going to be a bona fide nose or a one tech. So he's probably going to have to play in a 3-4, I would think, more than likely. But you're not gonna move him really at the point of attack. So he's just a space eater, and I think the only reason pushing him down is the pass rush upside. I don't know if that is there like it is for some of the other D tackles or nose guards, like his teammate Byron Murphy, who is getting a lot of hype as possibly the first interior defensive lineman to be off the board in this draft, along with Johnny Newton from Illinois. And then the last guy, another interior guy, Brandon Dorless, 97 for the national team from Oregon, 6'3" and an eighth, 272. He also was pretty disruptive in the one-on-one drills, playing both 3 tech and 5 tech. I think he's going to be more of an interior guy, though, even at kind of a lighter weight for a D tackle, 272. However, like I said, 3 tech, 5 tech, I think is perfect versatility for him. Should be able to play in any scheme. And mid-round 3 to 5 is where I think Dorless will probably go. I know. I took a long time for that. Watch the Senior Bowl and watch all those guys. Moral of the story.
Understood.
But anyways, that is the show for today. And I kind of want to look at this tweet real quick just to see what it says, because we have to. The oh my gosh, the Embassy of Japan has commented on Taylor Swift's travel, saying that she will comfortably make it in time for the Super Bowl if she leaves the evening of her show in
Yes.
Let's go. Finally, someone to replace Usher.
And of course they had to italicize some song names. Speak Now, I've never heard that one, but
No, that's
cool.
a good one.
Fearless is in there, as well as, of course, they had to end it with Red. But yes, the Embassy of Japan is now talking about Taylor Swift. Cool. That is the show for today, though. Thank y'all for watching. Next Friday, it'll be Super Bowl week. We will be totally bored by that point, because all they do Super Bowl week is talk about the same 5 headlines all week.
3 of them are going to be Taylor Swift.
Right. But it's the same storylines all week, and they just talk about them. Different people talk about them all week. But anyways, it will be Super Bowl 58, and we will be talking about that. Monday, we will get you the team. We will compare the teams, pick which side we think is going to win, what matchups, coaching, X factors, offense, defense, special teams, etc. And then, like I said, we will give our picks along with MVPs and scores for Super Bowl 58 on Friday. Make sure you watch that one. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X, FAA_bets as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. TikTok at Football Addicts Anon. See y'all back on Monday.